You obviously got a lot planned for this year. A few big deliverables coming. You've delivered a couple of things, obviously, with the resource and the PEA. Got a few bit more exploration to do, and then your fourth quarter activity. Do you hope that each of those things will have an effect on your share price, a positive effect on your share price, or do you think ultimately it's going to come down to the price of the commodity, the price of uranium in the marketplace?
Well, yeah, the price of the commodity is going to be important, but I think as we move forward here, we demonstrate that I want to prove that this deposit can grow substantially. I think when we begin our engineering studies and actually go into production at that point, irrespective of the price of the commodity is, even if the commodity is at $30, $35, but if we have a contract and we're producing uranium and selling it at $50 or $60 or $70, we're going to be priced by the earnings that we have at that point. So, and I think that point will come very, very soon and very quick. So all I know is, yes, the environment for the uranium price is going to be improving over the short term, over the near term, but more importantly, I can't control that. What I can control is what we do with the company, and I think we're stepping the company in the right direction and definitely creating good value for shareholders.
And have you got enough cash to deliver that activity this year?
No, we're going to have to raise funds to embark on our exploration. They'll take us down to the third quarter. And then at that point, we'll be raising additional funds for our engineering studies.
And so the timing of that is what, Q3, Q4?
Q4 for engineering, yes.
Right, and the fundraise itself sometime before that, I guess.
It's sometime probably in the next month or so.
Next month or so. And have you let the market know what sort of quantum you're looking for? You're going to be raising?
No, I mean we're still putting together our budgets now, but our estimates are between $2 and $3 million Canadian.
Okay, so
it's not a substantial amount of funds.
Yeah, that's okay. It's not substantial, and obviously, I mean, the board is your significant holders between you. You hold a big chunk of this.
Yes, we do. We own between the board members, insiders, our families, and close friends. We've got about 65% of the company, and which is really substantial because we've been funding this through a period where a lot of investors have been shunning uranium. And we completely believe in what we're doing. We wanted to move this along. So the biggest source of funds has been ourselves. And we've been very good at that. I think we've brought it up to a very good point. I think we're continuing to be investors and going forward. We think we're on to something truly world-class here, a new uranium district. This is important not just to Argentina, but I think in the global nuclear world, what we have is going to be important and substantial. And I think people are beginning to listen, and I'm beginning to see a lot more interest from various investors at this point.
Yeah, so I think you're obviously after the right things. You want the size of the resource, and it's a district-wide resource. It's that's hopefully a world-class asset. I mean, to fund that going forward, that's always going to be the difficult bit in terms of constantly being on the road to, raise capital, and hopefully not in a too dilutive manner. Who's the team on board who does the hunting of the cash?
It's all been internal. We have our own team here. We've been able. I'm confident we can raise the funds. We'll raise the money to do the exploration program, and then when we get to engineering studies, I think at that point the engineering companies themselves will actually help fund it, because the more money you raise, the easier it gets. Yeah. And I think we can do a combination of debt at that time. And of course, we'll just look at the context of the market and see what's best. We're very keen, I think, to keep the company undiluted as much as possible, because we are, in turn, are large shareholders. I'm a very substantial shareholder of the company. We keep all our costs down. Our overhead costs, we don't pay executives big salaries. My salary is absolutely negligible. Our win is going to be from the stock appreciation, and so our interests are truly lined up with the interests of shareholders. And I think we're getting very close to getting to that point.
Great. And so just if you guys are sitting on 65%, there's another 35% floating. Is that mainly retail and Canadian retail, or have you got strategic?
It's all retail at this point. We haven't been approaching any institutional shareholders. before the PEA. I think now that we've got the PEA out, we're beginning to both receive contact from certain institutions, and we're out there marketing and making them aware of what we have, because there are uranium funds and other institutions that are beginning to take positions in uranium as they can see that there's a forecast of a near-term increase in uranium valuation for uranium assets. So we're beginning to get on their radar map, and I think as that continues, I think we're going to begin to see our market get cleaned up and see better valuations for our company. I mean, our PEA indicates that just our current deposit has a net present value of $135 million. US in US funds, our company is valued at less than $15 million. So there's almost a tenfold disparity there, and I attribute a lot of that with not just being unknown at this point.
Right. Okay. So that's interesting, actually. So you think the institutional guys are starting to wake up to uranium again and understand the potential. Obviously, people are talking about the Section 232 in the States, and I think that will have benefit to the U.S. uranium producers. I can think of a couple at this point, but. Is that having much of an impact elsewhere? I mean, is that something which is, it's raising awareness in the market for companies like yourself?
Well, we're starting to see that. Just last week, I participated in a town hall where there was Rick Rule of Sprott Securities was talking about the price of uranium, and very much a believer, and some other smart people on there talking about taking a position in uranium now. So we're beginning to hear more about that and beginning to see that. There's a uranium fund, I think, that's getting listed in London, that's buying 10 or 20 million pounds of uranium and stockpiling it. So we're beginning to see these kinds of things happen right now. And so the uranium market is definitely on the move.
Just no one knows how quick it will move. Seems
well, that's $1 million question, isn't it?
Well, so you've got a district-wide asset. You're going to raise the cash to get you through to the end of the year. You think there's a kind of general movement in the marketplace, appreciation of that uranium is a sort of hot topic for 2019. Hopefully the price moves along with that. You've got an experienced team. You've been in the country for a long time. You know what you're doing. You know how to work. You know how to work there. But why should anyone care about BlueSky versus the other uranium explorers? Whether it be Africa or elsewhere in the world. Why BlueSky versus them?
I think BlueSky has a much better opportunity here, not just for appreciation, because we've got the support of the government, and we can get permitted very quickly. We plan to be in production in the next 1.5 to 2 years. So this is something that will go into production very, very quickly relative to other markets. If you have a uranium discovery, whether it be in an African country or even in another country like Peru or Colombia, it'll take a long time to get permitted for production because the regulatory framework for nuclear industry just simply isn't there. Argentina has a need, and a domestic need, and in fact we could begin to move to go into production now. But I think it's prudent to show that we've got some expansion potential, and then begin going into the move towards production very quickly. Like we said earlier, those companies that are at very, very near production or at production are those that are going to get the best valuation. And I think we're very, very quickly positioning BlueSky for that. And the best time to buy BlueSky is not at the end of the year if the price of uranium has moved up. Now is a great time because it's undervalued, it's unknown. I think as the year goes by and our marketing activities pick up and the price of uranium picks up, BlueSky will be on the go. So.
Well, there's a line that's often used. But explain to me why. So you say you're undervalued. In what context do you think you're undervalued?
Vis-a-vis the project where we have it at the stage that we're at. I mean, our PEA indicates $135 million value for that. Even if it was as a PEA, if you discount that by 50%, that still puts it at a $65 million valuation, and we're trading at $15 million. That's it's very low right now, and I think we do hope to change that very quickly as our marketing activities begin to pick up.